with another video. I'm back with my guys. They're two famous guys. Man like Nuruddin, man like Aaron. What are you telling me, guys? Shout out to Aaron first.
Yeah, man, I'm good. Actually, I've got something to say quickly. Obviously, we're all quarantined up and we're all at home and stuff and whatever. Yeah, stay safe, stay home, and stay healthy and all of that. Take care of each other. But I have got a sorry guys, I'm just fixing something. I've got an announcement to make.
Oh,
man's got the trim. Yeah.
That's flexing.
Yo, I couldn't wait no longer. I had to get it, man. I had to, bro. Listen, it's not perfect. My cousin came. You know what I mean? My cousin came to my house, fixed me up sharp. You know what I mean? Fixed me up a little bit. Shout out to Johnny, my cousin, my bro. Do you know what I mean?
That's
so,
it.
yo, I had to do it, man. But other than that, I'm good, man. I'm healthy. I'm alive. Do you know what I mean? Happy to see you guys as well.
Sharper than your average. The fade is back.
I thought, you know what, man? I need a bit of that fade. I need Nuruddin stylist, so I had to get that fade as well, man. Listen, man, I know we have to say quarantine up, but it was a quick 2 meter kind of a fade. You get me? Like, he was on the angles and whatnot, trying to give me that fade.
You know, my trim was he wasn't even close to me, bro. He had like a self-cutting machine, bro, a Bluetooth.
Wow.
Did it over Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, man? I've been watching all the YouTube videos about how to do haircuts in 3 minutes, but I just lost my hair.
I'm telling you, bro. How to cut your own hair.
Yo, I thought, nah, none of that, mate. Nuruddin, what are you telling me anyway, man?
Man, literally sweating from a bike ride, innit? Carrying bare stuff for people in my building, innit? Carrying stuff. I had to get a couple of bits here and there for myself and then a couple of other people in this building. So just literally just rock back, man. Rock back.
And you know what? Big up yourself, Nuruddin, man. You're a very, very, you know what I mean, kind person, man. Because obviously people don't realize it that there's people that live here in the road right now. And, you know what I mean, this self-isolation times, you know what I mean, they haven't got the energy or the strength to go to the shops. And, you know what I mean, they might be just actually just not want to go to the shops. And then, you know what I mean, you don't want them to starve to death. So big up to you, Nuruddin, and for what you're doing and respect to that as well.
Nothing, but to be fair, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's the least, you know what I mean? It's the least that I could do.
Yeah. We're just going to start with obviously a bit of update of what's happening at the football in a minute. Obviously, Holland League has been cancelled. Absolutely. You know what, man? I feel for them, man. That was a title race that was on the edge. Ajax and AZ Alkmaar. AZ Alkmaar, I don't think they've won the league, I think, ever. Have they won the league ever? I'm not sure.
A couple of times.
They won it in 2000.
Van Gaal.
Let me just AZ Alkmaar.
Van Gaal, mate.
Was it Van Gaal?
It was Van Gaal.
Wow, big up Van Gaal, you get me?
It was Van Gaal, and it was in. Let me just check. Sorry, guys, I'm just checking quickly. I think it was 2009, 2010.
Oh, I thought it was FC20. FC20 was Steve McLaren. I think that was that time, wasn't it?
2009, 2010.
All right. We'll put it to the comments below if they can recognise it. But that would have been a massive thingy. Obviously now Premier League talking again, saying
2008-9.
8-9, yeah, because I remember McLaren won it in 2009-10. But just to start with you, Aaron, obviously now the Holland League's out. You know what I mean? Championship are looking to do a kind of a mini tournament league. Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel? Obviously today, 300 deaths through the COVID-19. It's getting lower and lower. But what do you see do you think coming up? Are we still going to get football? Or are you're not optimistic, man? Are you still not optimistic like me?
Oh man, I'm between both camps, man. But I'm leaning more towards the camp that, you know, we love football, we want it to come back.
Yeah.
I always say this: we love football, we want it to come back, but we have to think of the bigger picture, man. There's still people dying all over the world. You know, I never really talked about this, but I met a guy that, you know, came to my local church about 2 years ago. He's a young guy, he's my age, 27. He came to my church about 2 years ago, came from Paris because his dad's a preacher as well. So he came with his dad. They came to visit us and whatnot. Went back to Paris. He got married over there, you know, got married to his long-time girlfriend, long-time fiance. Got a kid with her as well. And unfortunately, he passed away from the COVID-19 about a week.
R.I.P. man. R.I.P.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, man, left a wife, left a kid. I don't even think the kid has reached 2 years, so she's not probably gonna have any memories of her dad. So, you know what I mean? These things, it's bigger than football, man. It's bigger than football. So I honestly think it's like Flawless always says, they have to get it right. If you're gonna bring the Premier League back, or if you're even thinking of doing it, everything has to be set right. Everything has to be perfect. The testing, how you're going to test the people. And it's not just the players, because it's the players, coaching staffs, broadcasters, cameramen, ball boys, journalists, reporters. Like, you have to test everybody. And it's probably going to have to be a thing where you test everyone every single day, because a case can pop up anytime and then everyone has to quarantine again. So they have to get this one right, bro. Like, honestly, if they don't get it right, imagine if the Premier League comes back and the Premier League doesn't handle this situation properly. The Premier League could initiate that second wave that everyone's talking about. Do you know what I mean? Because if one person gets it, whether it's a player, staff, coach, whatever it is, if one player gets it, one person gets it, we have to quarantine all over again.
You got to start again, really.
And then start again, and then we don't know who else might have gotten it. Do you know what I mean? And that's a second wave, and that's another, period to go through, and we might have to go on lockdown again for 2-3 months. So I'm not completely against the fact that it has to come back, but if you're going to bring the Premier League back, everything has to be perfect. I'll see you got the Ollie juice again. It's a different taste now, isn't it? It's a different flavor. But if you're going to bring the Premier League back, you have to do everything precisely, correctly, and perfectly.
Laura, the same to you as well.
Yeah. What about if the players don't want to play?
Well, there you go.
What about if they got children?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
What about if the players say, yo...
Could that happen? Because with the contract issues and whatnot, and you have that obligatory to pay?
Yo, this is a global pandemic, mate. all those things out there, they've got human rights, mate. Human rights. If they say that they're fearing, and then you can tell, would you rather have somebody be honest and then somebody be playing scared and try to get through the game? And
then that affects the game, doesn't it? Yeah, true.
So, to me, it's like Aaron said, innit? If one person gets it, then it sets everybody apart. And the funny thing about the test kits, there's people arguing about the test kits because some of these test kits are not working properly, mate. So the world can't even organize. Apparently, the World Health Organizing have the best test kit. Apparently, they've got the most reliable test kit. But some of these countries, they're making their own test kits, and they're not reliable. And the thing that you said before, 300 today. Do we know that they don't count how many people died at home? They don't count the people that died in nursing homes. So all of this saying, the death rates, that's in hospitals. Nobody's going to hospital. Hardly anybody who's got to go into hospital, because they're telling people, you know what, stay at home. And people are scared of going to hospital because if you go into hospital, put you on a ventilator. That's why most people are dying.
Yeah.
Because if you get on a ventilator, you can't breathe for yourself.
We can only hope that's the main thing. We can only hope, and we hope that football does return, because obviously Germany at the minute's returning. We're looking at French football returning as well soon in May 7th. So we can only hope that football returns.
It's not proper. So it's a French death rate. It's a death rate. It's a lockdown being eased in France.
It's not eased, but apparently they're looking at reopening, like similar to.
Looking at the word is looking at now. That's the biggest league in every league. Till it's done, I ain't looking at anything. The only thing that I can say is Germany, because you can actually see the death rates, because of the way that they locked the whole country down. I was speaking to one of my friends over there today, and they were telling me, because of the lockdown, they locked it down so early. That's why and they're testing people as well. And they've been advising people, and the people there like kind of trust the government in some sense. So we'll see what happens over there. But everybody's talking about picking your German team, innit? But, a man like me already got two, mate. Already got two.
Got to pick one. What would be your German team, by the way?
What's your German team over there?
Mine?
Yeah.
It has to be Bayern, bro.
Because of your dad?
Yeah, because of my dad, yeah.
I would pick RB Leipzig because of the way Finger play. Nagelsmann and the way they're very, very good in terms of attacking football, and word up front. Sabitzer, I love Sabitzer, that guy, man. He's a very, very good forward player. So for me, it would be happy Leipzig. What about you, Norton?
I've been to Schalke. I went to watch Schalke, and Schalke are in the top league, innit? And St. Pauli are in the second division. So I've got one team.
No, but you got to pick one. You got to pick one.
No, but Schalke are in the main Bundesliga. Schalke are in there. I've went to see Schalke, but the team that I like is
St. Pauli.
St. Pauli, but they play in the second division.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, guys, we're going to touch on Man United because this is the Straightjacket Podcast, and yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's been a bit of a mad week, but I want to do this podcast and I want to talk about, can Man United spend their way out of trouble again? Can Man United do that? You know what I mean? Can Man United afford to do that? I'm not sure at the minute. You know what I mean? Are you looking at it? Are you thinking? I want to go with you. Start with you, Aaron. Man United, obviously now have ended interest. Obviously, Saudi have ended interest with Man United. They're not looking to buy the club anymore. They're looking at Newcastle. Is that for you? Is that a big blow for you, or do you still think that Glazers were always invincible and it was never a case of, you know, when they were going to come? It was just a case of just about. And now we're looking at the Glazers now for a good while now. Are you gutted in that moment? Because we could have been absolutely financial superpowers at that point.
Listen, I think it was a case of the right price, because, you know, it's a known fact that, you know, the Glazers wanted, 5 billion, and the Saudis only wanted to give 3 or 3.5, or what was it? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah, so it was about the right price, man. And I think the fact that, you know, the Glazers were so adamant about getting 5 mil, and the Saudis went, nah, we're not going to give you 5, we're going to give you 3 or 3.5. The Saudis probably went, you know what, we'll look for another team. And they, you know, as much as, you know, Nuden gave us the historical background of, you know, those owners, they probably looked at it and they went, you know, we probably don't want to make the same mistake as Man City. So we're going to go for a club that, you know, has the fan base, has the history. So that's why they probably went for Newcastle. So I think it's not so much about us spending our way out of it, because spending our way out of it, we've been doing it for the last 6-7 years. And it clearly hasn't worked. So I think it's about spending smartly. But we can sit here all day and talk about spending, but what does Nuden always say? As long as the structure of this club ain't correct, we can spend as much as we like. We can spend another 1 billion. It's not going to work. I mean, and Nuden, he tweeted it yesterday. You know it's a very bad day for journalists, when they start talking about Di Maria being linked with us again.
Oh,
you know?
my God.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So,
after what he did with the bottle, and he's tried to sip it, and then he threw it at the fans. How on earth can he come back? Seriously.
Yeah.
But then, Aaron, I come back to that point though. When you say we don't want to spend our way out of trouble, you look at the Galacticos though. They did it. They did it very well, and look what they did. Can we not do the same again?
The Galacticos, they had a sick team, but they never really won nothing because they had superstars, but there was no cohesion. Do you know what I mean? I mean, how on earth can you explain to have a squad with Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo, Beckham, Roberto Carlos, Fernando Hierro, Helguera, Salgado, and not win anything? Like, it's
Makalele as well.
I was watching.
Don't forget the goalkeeper.
I was watching Casillas. Sorry, yeah. Well, he came through the youth ranks, but spending our way out of this situation is not going to help. I think you can spend money; it's not wrong, but you have to spend. You have to spend it wisely on the right players. Do you know what I mean? And looking at the areas that we need to improve in. If you're not going to change the structure, at least focus on the areas that we need to improve in and buy the players for that specific area. I was going to say I was watching the what was it, 2-3 days ago? I was watching on the BT YouTube channel. They were showing the Man United game against Real Madrid in 2003. Bro,
crazy,
mad. Do you know what I mean? But that team that beat us, that Real Madrid team, still didn't win the Champions League that year because it was Porto. Do you know what I mean? And Porto had less talented players than that Real Madrid team. So spending your way out of trouble is not always going to work. It's going to work in some instances, like the Man City situation, when they just went boom and just spent a whole load of money, 2008, 2009, 2010. That is probably why. That is what largely contributed to their first Premier League title in that so many years. But in terms of Man United, we can't go and be like a Man City and just go, slap 100 mil on this one, slap another 50 on this one, slap another 60 on this one. No, you have to recruit correctly. And speaking of recruiting, that structure needs to be restructured as well. Do you know what I mean? So you can spend money, but it has to be in the right way. And obviously the structure of the club as well has to be good. Otherwise, you're just spending money for no reason.
I hear that. Nuruddin, I want to come to you next. I want to think to myself, I'm thinking, you know what, we go against our traditional standards of, you know what, we promote the youth and whatnot, but I just look at it and I think, how long before we win a title? How long before we win a Champions League? Do we go against our roots of football, or do we go against our values? I was watching 1998. There was a documentary. Eamon Holmes went Old Trafford in 1998, and you can see the values and traditions of the football club, and you can see how Alex Ferguson knew everyone in the football club. You know, with them value traditions, I don't know. I feel like they're starting to fade away. Do you still believe? Do you go by Aaron's decision and say, you know what, we can't spend our way out of this trouble. We have to stick to our traditions. Or do you just say to yourself, you know what, let's go buy Sancho for 100 million. Let's go buy Harry Kane for 100 million. Let's go buy, a Partey for 50 million. Let's spend 300 million this summer and let's do it and let's just get the win in the Premier League. Would you like to win it that way, Nuruddin?
Yeah, because the money belongs to the fans. So I think if you buy the Sancho, definitely. If you buy Partey, that makes sense because we need those players. But when's the last time the Glazers spent out that money? You look at it. To me, I could only look at in recent history. The average spending from the Glazers and Woodward, your boy, has been 60 million, 70 million. It's like 60 million a season, 70 million a season. And if you look at Man City have not spent 100 million. Man City, the most they've spent is like 60 or 70 million. I think Mahrez is the most expensive player they bought, if I'm not wrong. And he was like 70, something like close to 70 million. So that was the closest they went to 70 million. They buy players around 60 from...
No, but when they bought Mendy and Walker in one season. They bought Mendy and Walker in one season.
Yeah, but they're buying players for 50 million each. They're not buying a player for 100 million. They're buying 50 million there, and they're filling the places where they need to. I think everybody's talking about Man United taking advantage. I think it's the people that have got the billionaire owners, the Paris Saint-Germains, the Man Cities of this world have that money. The Chelseas can go out and bang it, you know what I mean? Because their owners have got billions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Financial crash or no crash, they've still got billions, mate. So, to me, I can only look at recent history. The Glazers tried a little bit. They tried a little bit with Van Gaal, but then they didn't really buy the right, because of the structure, like I always talk about, the right proper structure wasn't there.
Structure FC.
Yeah, Structure FC, mate. They didn't have it, so they went and tried to bang. And then, to be fair, the most expensive player they bought there was Di Maria, and then we only lost, 8 million on him? We sold him to Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. So that don't really, when people, Falcao we bought him, but then he was injured and we didn't spend that much money. We gave him big wages, but we didn't spend
wages, yeah.
So really, all of these people saying that, Mourinho, yeah, we bought Pogba, we bought Mkhitaryan, we bought Baye, we bought Mkhitaryan and Lindelof. You know what I mean? We spent money with him. I think we spent about 300 and something million with him. So Man United don't really have that kind of thing where we go and spend big. But the thing about it for me, it's not about the spending the money. It's about how do you fill the gaps structurally. Like, for example, we need a CDM. Or we need a guy who's got energy who can play. Because Matic is going to get... I mean, the idea that how he won a contract is surreal to me. You know what I mean? That's
surreal.
Listen, that's another thing for me. But anyway.
That's football for you, though. That's football.
Yeah,
1 minute you're the.
Yeah, but it's new flavour of the month, isn't it? You know, like Ricky would say. Fantastic. Terrific.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But
Ricky.
Yeah. But for me, it's about, like Aaron was saying, it's the position. So Sancho makes sense. But then your boy Neil Ashton took 2 days off holiday to look after, deliver some shopping and stuff. You know,
is he not the one that finished the gap? No, can he not?
No, maybe. Maybe he was on a bike with you, bit of bike ride, innit? Chill, innit? And chill with Saeed, innit? But anyway, your boy Woodward came out, and Woodward, like the poster that you got for marked on that wall there, little bits of it's
coming.
He peeled off, mate. It's peeling off because he came out. It was like fans are expecting to buy players. But he said nobody's going to spend hundreds of millions. And, you know what I mean? To me, in the past 4 seasons, the Glazers have not spent that money. Last season, they spent, when they let Lukaku go, they spent 70 million on Lukaku, whatever. The most expensive player that we bought was Pogba still. Do you know what I mean? So they haven't got this rich history of banging out money. So I can't see it. What I can see is that Man United looking for deals. They're looking for kind of alternatives. And you can see already your boy Neil Ashton innit, panicked in it because as soon as the big boss went out there, so you can see him feeding all the press now, innit, the vultures, and they're all coming out with alternatives to Sancho. Sancho might sign in a Dortmund deal. So every bit of your dream, Saeed, is going down the mate. Somebody's washing their hands, mate, with it as we speak right now.
I'm gutted.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
To me, I can only talk about recent history to sum it up. And I can't see the Glazers spending hundreds of millions. Because if there was ever any excuse for the Glazers not to spend zilch, it is this, to go, look, we're losing money. Because every club's losing money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, every club, regardless, unless you've got a billionaire owner.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? That's absolutely spot on. You know what I mean? And I look at it in terms of, you know what I always see, Aaron? I think always look at Man City and Liverpool. They can always spend the money. Like Mohamed Salah. Imagine we bought Mo Salah. I think we would have spent 80 million on him because of the fact that Man United would not have researched it properly. They would not have went the right way of doing it. Like, even if we were to spend money, Aaron, and we were to spend big, like, we can never do it right. You know what I mean? Like, Lukaku was never, ever 75 million. I get he was maybe 50 to 60 million, but never 75 million. Sancho, I get he's 100 million, but a top club, like, maybe Bayern Munich, they would probably get him at 70 million or 80 million. For some reason, they would say, you know what, we can exchange you this kind of player, or we can give you this kind of young player, and then have him for about 5 seasons, and then we'll take him back off you in about 3 or 4 years when he's developed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like Alphonso Davies signed a deal. Like, Man United would never ever do that, where they have a player and then sign to another contract and then sign to another contract when he's doing well. So for me, I don't know, man. I just think like Man United would never ever spend right, like properly right, because at the end of the day, they haven't got the structure to do it.
Exactly, it's the structure, man. I mean, the only thing that we're doing right now that I can kind of look at and say, okay, I see what you're trying to do, is that we're trying to secure as many youth talents as possible. I mean, you and me went to the game the other day where, you know, we looked at that Mesbury guy. What a player. I don't know how we managed to convince him to leave, what was it, PSG? To come to Monaco, sorry. I don't know how we convinced him, because Monaco's reputation is actually really good, especially when it comes to the youth levels. They're known for keeping their youth at their club and then making them progress through to the first team. Just look at Mbappe. So I don't know how we managed to do that, but that's the only thing I can kind of look at and say, we're trying to do this the right way. But when it comes to like buying players and actually to play for the first team and handing out new contracts, like we do it all wrong. Like, we give new contracts to the wrong people, to the wrong players. We keep the wrong players at the club. We keep the wrong people at the club, and the right players, we let them go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to delve into it, but you guys know about Herrera. You already know. Both of you were absolutely fuming on how we managed to let that guy go. But, you know, that's a story for another day. So, listen, man, that's the only thing I can... Sorry?
We kept Matic and let Herrera.
We kept Matic as well. But if Matic stays and he becomes a squad player and just plays here and there, I'm fine with it. But if it's for him to play game in, game out, like, come on, bro, like, do you know what I mean? It's back to square one. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's an annoying thing as well about Man United, is we don't seem to learn from our mistakes. Like, it's you know, a little child, you know, that you've got the table in the living room and the child is trying to, you know, walk his way through the living room and then bumps his head against the table. And then you go, you know what? Don't walk into that direction because you'll hurt yourself. And that kid does the exact same thing that you just told him not to do. That's exactly what Man United is. We're like a stubborn kid that doesn't learn from his mistakes.
Trust me, that is absolutely spot on. And you know what I mean? It's mad how you're using that analogy, but United just never make the right mistake. You know what I mean? They always make the same mistakes and everything. Every single time. Selling this player, selling that player. Never ever have this. You know what I mean? You look at it towards the point of, you know, the structure. You can talk about Neil Ashton and Woodward, but at a minute, they've had, you know what you can say about Man United? They've had the money, but they've never ever spent it well. Is that, can you sum it up like that, though?
That's the truth, yeah.
They've had the money, but they've never ever spent it well.
And yeah, if Fergie was the last manager where he spent money wisely, and then, you know what, also, like, it's true, you know what, transfer markets are hit and miss. You can find some gems, but you want a manager, especially if you're going to have somebody like Sir Alex Ferguson who ran everything. You kind of have somebody who then now and again throws in a jumper in there, you know what I mean? While also finding somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Don't remind me of him.
You know what I mean? Like finding Cristiano Ronaldo, do you know what I mean? So it's hit and miss. At the end of the day, it's about players settling in. But what what I've talked about it on this podcast before. But what clubs with structure do, they absolutely like minimize the risks. They look at all the analytics, like they look at the player, the amount of runs he makes, the how many times he passes forward, how many times he starts. It's a whole science to it. It's mathematics, like breakdown, the injury records. I mean, everybody's talking about United being linked with Evan Facano, the kid who's playing Leipzig.
Facano, yeah.
Like, what is it? Listen, have you seen his injury record for a young player?
You know what?
Are you kidding me? Like, Eric Bailly, injury records. Do you know what I mean? Like, players. Liverpool will never buy players. They use this system to analyze injuries, the recoveries, the types of injuries they have. They analyze everything.
Yeah, but that's my point, Norodin. Man United buy players on names. Yeah, that's what I mean about Norodin. You made that point there very, very well. Man United buy players on names. So Upamecano is a brilliant player. But do we sacrifice that and say, you know what? We're not going to buy Upamecano. We're going to buy a player who's not injury prone, but still has the same level of quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think Tuanzebe's there. You just make sure that, listen, you know our medical staff as well. You know our medical staff. So you're bringing us an injury-prone players to the club when you know our. Can you imagine Man United? This should be a given. Man United should have the best, the absolute best
in class
injury rehabilitation center. They said when they built that Aeon complex, that was the best facilities, best training complex in the world. Yeah. What happens with Man United players getting injured right, left, and center? Like, what happened with the debacle with Pogba? Like, Pogba then had to go and get some advice from outside people, experts. I can imagine he paid out of his own money to go, hey guys, help me out here. How can you support me? Help me. At the end of the day, for me, it's simple. I always say it, AKA Mr. Structure, mate. That's who I am. So the days that as fans that we will see the fruits of Man United doing things the right way. It's the day that we will see a proper structure put in place. And then I'm happy to be patient, regardless whoever the manager is. If the structure is in place, and that's what I always say, we talk about us signing somebody. The day I get excited is when we sign the best footballing director in the world. That's the day you see me run around, mate. Run round, topless, mate. Running around, mate. Waving at Man United like that, mate. Singing songs, mate. That's when you see me getting excited and going crazy. And the other things that I told you about this thing, I was chatting to you for the past 4 weeks, and I've been telling you guys that financial crash is coming. And for the first time, even when it happened in 2008, 2009, football was thinking you were immune from that because TV deals are still coming through because the Premier League is a massive thing. People are watching, people are still finding money to make money from that and to, being on TV all around the world. But now, that ain't happening, mate.
Yeah, you know what?
That ain't happening. So, like I said, clubs like Man United, places like Woodward and the Glazers, and that's why Woodward came out. Do you think Woodward came out for nothing? He's firing his shots, mate. He was firing shots, mate, saying, Man United fans, I know we're constantly making the news. I know that. I love that because he talks about that as well on his when he has the board meeting with the fans and that. He always thought when with the shareholders, he talks about it. He's like, yeah, we've been linked with this. We've had this much traffic on Instagram. We've had this much traffic on all across social media, on Facebook and Twitter, about linking us to players. That's all bringing us traffic, data. So that's who he is. But he had to come out and go, hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's why I put the tweet. I put the tweet out like on the 15th of June. And then I screenshotted it and said, listen, I don't need this Muppet Woodward telling me. Like,
you love your screenshots, don't you?
Yo, like, we already know what's coming. We already know what's crack-a-lacking around here. My guy's coming out. Neil Ashton had 2 days off. I think if you're going to swap with anybody to get Sancho, I think we should loan him Neil Ashton for 3 years and then get Sancho.
I'd rather keep Neil Ashton, man. I want Neil Ashton to stay, man. You know what I mean? But you know what? We're gonna go to that point. And Woodward, Aaron, it's come out this week. Obviously, the last week, and he said, you know what I mean? Obviously, due to the current climax and whatnot, we're not gonna be able to spend as much as we would want to. Is that getting his excuses in already? And you know what I mean? Is it now a case of concern for Man United? The Sancho deal, does that mean the Sancho deal is gonna be you know what I mean, bust. You know, before it's already started, he's already gonna turn the the fire out already. He's already gonna get all the excited fans and said, you know what? Shut up and relax. No one's not gonna buy Sancho. You got Daniel James, mate.
Crazy thing is, I could actually see this coming. You know, I just knew at some point they were gonna come out and say, due to the current climate, we're not gonna be able to. So yeah, this potentially does put the Sancho deal in danger. But I can still see them, work out something. It'll probably be something stupid like a loan deal first, and then we'll buy him next season, and then we'll buy for stupid money. Something like that, innit? Or we'll do like the classical Woodward installments where we'll pay like 5 mil up front, and then we'll pay the rest in installments. You know what I mean?
Are you concerned? Are you concerned, Aaron, by that?
A little bit, yeah, I am, because obviously it's clear that there's not going to be any big money move this season. If there is going to be one, then it's probably going to be us going for Sancho. But like I said, even that, like, I don't know. It'll probably be something. They'll manage to get something sorted. It'll probably be like something like a loan deal, and then we'll buy him next season. Because I remember PSG tried to get Mbappe, but they couldn't financially, so they loaned him for the first season and bought him for 189 million euros the next season. So we could potentially do the same thing.
We could do Dortmund, that. This is my United, though, Aaron.
But then Dortmund, are they going to be okay with that? Because they're going to want the replacement. They're going to want the money. They're not going to be okay with just a loan deal and letting Sancho go. And because let's be honest, he's one of their most important players, if not the most important player in the squad. A lot of goal contributions. Do you know what I mean? So, it's hard, man. It's a bit. I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, I am.
Breaking news. Sancho shirts. Newcastle Sancho shirts flying off, mate. People are going Sancho, man. I'm telling you. Harry Kane up front, Sancho on the right, Grealish on the left. That's how it's cracking, mate.
Shelving behind him.
Imagine that.
That guy always saves his best game against Man United, so I got a respect for him. And that kid hates Man United to the core, mate. Make sure that morning he literally has his spinach, you know what I mean, like Popeye spinach. I mean, Lord Voldemort, as I call him. Listen, that's what's coming. Like I said to you, like I said before, I'll make the point again. If any owners in any club needed an excuse not to spend dough, unless Woodward does something magical and gets the catalogue out, you know what I mean? Like literally catalogue. You know what catalogue? Back in the day, you order something, innit? You pay it, and over the like Arsenal did. You know what I mean? Like man like Edu pulled out with Lille. You know what I mean? Pulled out to buy that to buy who to buy the best player for Arsenal in Arsenal's history. Hold tight, Pepe.
Hold tight, Floppy. Hold tight, Floppy.
Floppy, mate. Floppy. But unless, and I can't see Man United doing that. So, and our friend, who's the chairman of Dortmund, is a shrewd businessman, mate. He's not going to be messed with me. He was the first. Say his name again. Always remind me his name.
Hans Joachim Watzke.
Vasquez, mate. Get in line, pal. My guy ain't taking no phone call from Woodward, mate. Imagine Woodward calling him up. Yo, Vasquez, what's going on in? How's the family? Is this who? Ed Woodward? I'll see you later. See you later, mate.
Oh, my God.
Who? Neil? Who? Ashton? Friends with Saeed? No, thank you. Nah, danke.
You know what? That is absolutely spot on, man. Because we are gonna be banter, mate. Because imagine every phone call now. Neil Ashton, Ed Woodward, we're looking to buy Sancho for 8 million. Huh? Are you serious? Bye-bye. And it's true, though, because that's what we are now, Nuruddin. We are gonna be buying players for absolute pennies, yeah? And it's gonna be disrespectful for Dortmund. Imagine you saying 8 million for Sancho when really he could be worth more. Like, you look at Dembele worth 140 million. If you look at Dembele and Sancho, in terms of talent, yeah, I wouldn't put them, like, far away from each other. I'd say they're quite similar in talent. So if they got it for 140 million or whatnot, surely we can buy it. So
to be fair, though, but that was, like, peak at the high of the financial, football going mad.
That was when it was crazy.
That was peak, mate. You know what I mean? This kid, And look what's happened to him at Barcelona. I mean, the guy's had the most injuries.
Oh,
are you kidding me? Like, Barcelona didn't even do so. I think Barcelona got a decent structure. Barcelona, in recent years, to be fair, their transfer, first getting rid of Neymar, then buying Coutinho, and all of these, they don't know how to fit the players in. Do you know what I mean? And they're doing a Man United. Barcelona are doing a Man United. Just buying players, don't know where to fit in. And buying
that's
players.
why they've stuttered, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to buy the guy from Inter Milan now. What's his name?
Javi Martinez.
Martinez, when they got Suarez, Griezmann.
Lautaro, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where are they going to fit that in? So maybe this is the time now to spend big, where if you're not going to spend now, we're going to be so far behind. So I don't know.
You're already far behind with your boys, mate. With your double act, your dream team, mate. Ashton and Woodward, we're already behind, mate. Strictly propaganda, mate. Strictly propaganda. For me, the only way I can see Sancho, if Sancho makes this deal, if he really wants to come, then Man United will have to find the money somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, the Glazers might not have to take their money out. You know, that 20 million.
Have they got the money, United? Are they being realistic? I was talking to my friend before, and he's saying that Man United, don't worry, they have the money. They have stockpiles of money still left at the football club. It's whether the Glazers can see us having enough kind of, you know, can they see it with Ole Gunnar?
It's the best time to strike. A team like Man United, if you spent and bought 4 players, right, and got rid of 2 or 3 still, right, you could buy 3 world-class players, because some teams in Spain, Italy, and Germany need the money. They need the money to survival. So it's the best time to, even if Man United borrowed that money, you know, from the shirt sales, from that they would make that money back. But the Glazers don't think like that. Instead, they want to give each other 20 million here, 20 million there to each other. Just take it out of the club and pay each other that money for doing what? Jack all, mate. That's why your boy Woodward, they'll never get rid of your boy Woodward. Even the other propaganda that came out was, oh, Woodward is stepping back. I'm like, stepping back from what? Then Woodward's like, oh my bear. If Woodward's stepping back, why is he coming out making all these things saying that we're not buying players? At the end of the day, to me, one things that I've learned analyzing sport or life in big corporations or institutions and organizations, follow the money, mate. Is whoever signs the checks has the power, mate. You can talk about who this and that. This guy's looking at this guy's looking at that. I like what Ollie's done. One of the best things about Ollie's been, he's realized the players that we need in certain positions. Even though I genuinely think Pogba and Rashford injured and McTominay injured, we don't get Bruno. But that's a travesty for a team like Man United. So even thinking that the bits that what Ollie's been trying to do, thinking I need to get the defense, Wan-Bissaka, these were clearer guys. You didn't need studies to find these players out.
Oh, yeah.
It was obvious, right? But I can imagine him wanting to do that and sort out the right-hand side and understanding that as a striker for Man United, you need a balance on the right-hand side. You know what I mean? You need a balance on the right-hand side. You might need a number 8, a guy that can give competition, because if Man United are going to go trophies, you need a squad. It's not first 11. You win titles, you win championships, you win cups, you win doubles. With a squad, anybody will tell you more than ever before, you have to, like Man City will tell you, and they've not won the Champions League, and they've had 2 players for every position. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think if everybody's sleeping on Man City, mark my words, everybody's sleeping on Man City. Man City are going to get a couple of centre-halves. Man City are going to go again. And so might surprise, because they've got money. They've got liquid, mate. So's Paris Saint-Germain. So's the other teams that are owned by billionaires. When you got money, liquid, you can then go and think, right, how can I go and then take advantage of this market? Because players will be looking to leave, because players will be thinking, you know what, I want to further progress. It's going to be a different kind of structure to football, because some teams are going to seriously struggle. Like I said, if Man United, for me, we're already in 350 million in debt already. If you added another 300 million, I will pay that off. Do you know what I mean? If so be it, if we go and borrow money from the banks to go and take advantage at the market at this moment, and if you were willing to buy 4 players in key positions on the football pitch, we then are going on the way to challenging seriously. And like I said, you buy Sancho for 100 million. You know, globally, everybody's getting a Sancho, mate. Yeah. You know, we all know. I know that some people down in Asia and different parts of the world are getting the they're not getting the real Man United Sancho shirts. They're getting the, you know what I mean, the Chinese.
Yeah.
Let's keep it straight.
Let's keep it straight.
Let's keep it straight.
Shout out to the people in India, though, still.
Yo, shout out to everybody out there, man. The sweatshops, innit? People making the football shirts. But so to me, I think they will make it back because you think every kid then will think, yeah, Sancho. You know what I mean? It will be Man United will make that money. It's like Pogba. You make that money. The money they spent for Pogba, they already made it back because of the global reach and everything else and his social media following and all of that stuff. So Man United are in the perfect place. Still, we're not dead and out. When this started happening, the team was on the way up, coming back in terms of being in contention for top 4 and try to make it. So can we then get that extra boost? That's what all Man United fans globally are looking at, thinking, come on, Man United. But your boy Woodward comes out. Ashton takes a day off. Woodward comes out and just shuts the door.
That shifts, in it.
Shuts that door.
Aaron, Lordy talks about getting 4 players in, but I just look at it and I think, do Man United have to sacrifice before they buy? And there's a name called Paul Pogba here that we're talking about. Do Man United have to sacrifice selling Paul Pogba to buy players? Or do you still see Man United have to keep the best players and still spend? Because in the day now, we can't afford to lose Paul Pogba. You know, we can't afford to be behind 30 points behind Liverpool. Lordy talks about squad players and strength in depth. Man United have got to get that. But will Man United do that? Will Man United think, you know what, we can get 150 million for Pogba? We've got Bruno Fernandes. We swapped Bruno Fernandes for Pogba, even though I think they're different players. Then we can go buy a Partey and a Sancho. What do you think? Can we afford to sacrifice?
First of all, sacrificing is not even going to be possible because nobody's going to pay 150 for Pogba because of the financial situation and because of the crisis that's coming our way. So nobody's going to spend over 100 mil, let alone 150 mil for Pogba. Yeah. The second thing I want to say is why do we want to sacrifice Pogba? Why is he the sacrificial lamb? So what do people think? We're going to sacrifice Pogba, get rid of him, and all of a sudden United's back, we're winning titles. What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? Why can we not have the best players in every position, the best player in the world in every position? Why can we not have that? We used to have that in the past. We used to have, you look at our team that won the Champions League, in every single position, you had a world-class player. 99, every single position, you had a world-class player. And on top of that, on the bench, we had sick players as well. So why do we have to sacrifice one player, get rid of him, and think that this is what kills me. That's like Barcelona saying we need to get rid of Messi and we're going to be better. Like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, we were close to getting top 4 without Pogba, but if he was fit, 1, we would be in the top 4, maybe top 3, and 2, Bruno wouldn't be here. So let's get this straight. Nolan already said it. People need to. You can be happy, that's fine, but you need to be realistic as well. If Pogba was fit and he was playing every single game, Bruno wouldn't be here. Let's get this straight. Please do not forget this. So the thought that people think that we need to get rid of him and then all of a sudden things will be better, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I say keep the best players, add more good players or more world-class players to the team, build a really solid foundation, build a really good squad, and then we could talk about challenging again. I don't like this idea of us being a one-man team where we depend on one guy, and then whenever that one guy gets injured, it's good night Vienna. Everyone's panicking. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And then we start pointing fingers and blaming everyone. You're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. Well, and then the players can turn around and say, well, you want me to do my job? Well, this player is not there. He's injured. Therefore, I can't do my job properly. We don't want to get to that stage. We want to get to the stage where someone's injured. All right, cool. You get off the bench, you play, and it's the exact same thing because there is a system that everyone's executing. No matter who plays, it can be a 16-year-old. As long as the system is in place, doesn't matter who plays. But I do agree that we have to have the best players in every position.
Yeah. Good points, Aaron. I feel like, it's true that you can't sell your best players. But I'm looking at it in the case of, hypothetically, let's say we sell Lindelof for, let's say, 50 million to Barcelona. And I know I'm putting it out there, hypothetically. Hypothetical say, I know. 50 million. Let's just say we end up selling 50 million.
Stop it, man. Tell Neil Ashton to you on your right, on your left. Tell him to stop.
Oh,
Neil, stop it.
Stop too much.
Okay, let's put a reasonable price. Let's say 40 million. 40 million, because we did buy for 30 million. Let's add 10 million on there. Okay, let's talk about Dalot. Dalot, we bought it for 20 million. I don't think we'll get 20 million back for him. I think we'll have a loss in there. That's 50 million. Okay, who else can we sell in there? Okay, Matic goes to Inter Milan for 20 million. I don't know. Let's say hypothetically. Who else is out there? Ooh. Let's get some names out there.
Smalling, sell Sancho.
Smalling, Sanchez. Okay, let's get 15 million for Smalling. I think you'll get 15 million maybe, or 20 million. Sanchez will get hey. So imagine we were to sell good. Do you think Man United would be doing better in terms of buying players easier? You know what I mean? You don't have to go spend 20 million because you might have a better relationship with certain clubs. So you can sell them. Say you sell someone to Barcelona, they might say, you know what? You can have. I'm not trying to say Arthur would be sold to Man United, but imagine Arthur or sold to Man United for 50 million. You know what I mean? We need to be. I don't know. I think Man United's relationship with top clubs has soured because we've not been able to sell well to bigger clubs. I don't know about you, Laurie. Is that true or?
We don't have relationships, mate. We don't build relationships because we sat managers in it. When you got no structure, that's what I'm saying to you. That's why I'm screaming out for Man United to have the best footballing director because he will have all those connections. He will know the top clubs. He will know the top agents. He will build relationships. Instead, and the idea about Pogba, it's really a bit funny, innit? So people get excited, innit? They want to throw away the old toy, innit? It's that simple. Throw away the old toy, brand new toy, innit? Bruno's a brand new toy. You know what I mean? He's been a brilliant player. His attitude's been fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But it just seems like, well, why would Pogba want to go? Because he's a United fan. Why would Pogba want to go if he thinks that, United are about 2 or 3 top world-class players? Why would he want to go anywhere else?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So this idea, and that's what Pogba, at the end of the day, like I said, Pogba was sold a dream. The dream is turned to a nightmare. So that's what my guy's thinking. You know, I've got other options. I want to win. Football is a short career. I want to win trophies.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that Man United don't get. So for me, if he's gonna go, if he really wants to go, then I genuinely think you let him go. I regardless whatever the price is, because at the end of the day, player that doesn't want to stay, you don't want to keep them.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
So it will end that kind of saga, and then we will look at who the Man United and the media bandwagon scapegoat next. You know what I mean? You know that they'll come from Martial, innit? We know that already. You know what I mean?
Martial, exactly.
With their agendas. But I just see, man, when you got a footballing director, they're very smart. They move players on. They bring down the wages of the club. They will do all of these things. This is the perfect time to have a footballing director who can come in, who's got the contact, who knows what the market going rate is, like who knows who's got this knowledge. And that's what you're buying. You're buying knowledge. You're buying experience and knowledge and know-how. And that's where you entrust. But Man United don't do that, innit? Instead, Woodward is coming out making statements. Like I always said, if I ask you, who's the Paris Saint-Germain sporting director? Who's the Barcelona sporting director? Who's the Real Madrid sporting director?
You would know their names.
Yeah. Like he said, you don't know, like, chairmans. You know the sporting director, but you don't know the chairmans. But Ed Woodward is known, like, and everybody knows Man United, they try to haggle, they try to do mental 3-dimensional chess, only like check themselves out, you know what I mean, checkmate themselves, and then they finally have to pay the money. So I can't see anything. There's not anything that gives me, like I said, unless I see a proper structure and that we can see it clearly, the plan, and they don't even communicate it either. They don't even communicate it clearly. And so it's sad. It's really sad. Like putting everything on Pogba, thinking Pogba's going to do. You've got to have good players. Like you said, you need a squad. You need good players. You need a system and you need good players. He's going to foot the system in those good players. But I'm sorry to say, Man United just react. They react. They're a very reactive, buddy. In terms of sacking manager, very reactive. And then they don't help the manager. They don't support the manager. They just want to change and get the latest next toy. Because that goes well on social media. That sells well. So sadly,
you know what?
That's who we are.
That's a brilliant point there, Aaron. You know what I mean? Man United have always tried to get the next toy. And that's come with a very, very big, disadvantage now because we get that United tax, like Norton says, you know what I mean? That United tax when, you know what I mean, certain players like, I don't know, Harry Kane should be that kind of and then it's 200 million. I mean, I just don't get it, man. Man United always have to pay that certain tax. Like, I don't know, I think players, like, get certain gems of, certain players, like, I don't know, like, there's certain players where I've looked at and I think, you know what? They bought it for 35 million. What the heck's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, Van Dijk, 75 million. Van Dijk right now, how much would he be worth? I'd say about up to 150 to 200 million if you really look at it in terms of its worth. But when Liverpool went in there 75 million, said, you know what, that's 75 million, we'll give you that. Southampton, shut up. Like, why is it always Man United have to pay the tax every single time? Why can't we not just buy a player for 40 million? Say now we go look at Sabitzer from RB Leipzig. How much do you reckon RB Leipzig will save to Man United now?
That's a good question. I don't know how much, but the reason why we've been paying over the odds so many times is because people, not even people, clubs know that we've been spending badly in it. They know it. They know how badly run the club is. They know about the structure of the club that is the shambles. They've seen all of our failed transfers. They've seen the Falcaos. They've seen the who else was it? They've seen the Falcaos, the Di Marias. They've seen how bad we've been spending, and that's why there is this thing called the United tax. Do you know what I mean? They know, we're desperate. We need players to improve. They know we're desperate to get back to the top. So they'll put money on top, man. They'll put money on top, and in the end, we'll pay it. That's the way it is, really.
That loaded for you as well. You know what I mean? United tax. You know what I mean? Can we ever get to a point where we're level playing field with every club? Like, can we one time say to ourselves, you know what? Let's go get that gem for 30 million. Can we ever do that? Can Man United ever do that?
Yeah, we've had some brilliant bargains. You know what I mean? Brilliant. Like Roy Keane was to be fair, Man United have broke the transfer record a lot of times in it. You know what I mean? Roy Keane, Rio Ferdinand. Do you know what I mean? Paul Pogba.
Maguire.
Do you know what I mean? So it's these kind of different things to break.
That's another player, Nuruddin. Maguire should never have been 80 million. It should be at least 50 to 60 million.
I will say to you.
I still like him though.
Yeah, I will say to you at the time, mate. At the time, I was telling you, like, but it's Man United at the end of the day, and when we're desperate, so it's a vicious cycle. The more desperate Man United get, the more the other clubs and agents see Man United are desperate. The more the money goes up. But the less desperate Man United are, the more Man United, like Man City are not desperate. They're winning trophies. People want to go there, so they just agent. They go, this is what we got. This is what I mean. The team that really was Leicester. Leicester were like, nah, he's not. Maris not leaving, mate. He ain't leaving unless you pay. Yeah. And Man City had to pay, mate. They had to pay. But that's the only player. Like Man City, like had to negotiate proper hard for. You know what I mean? So I don't see that. But that's what I said. When you got proper like a footballing director, he's got the contacts, so you know what I mean. That's why you get the price. Like that's what I'm saying to you about Dortmund. Dortmund find these young gems. They give them the right contract. They promise them they get them in the football team. There's a proper work, you know what I mean, structure that's working to give players a chance and sell them on. Definitely, because I've been looking at how Dortmund do it. Dortmund sell every year and a half, every 2 years, just to keep up with Bayern Munich.
A big player.
Yeah, they sell a big player. So it's the Sancho's due, like, but Corona might have just, messed that all up because people are now talking about Sancho might be signing a new deal. So signing a new deal.
And with the German league coming up now, it makes it even more beneficial for Sancho to put his price even up. Like I would have preferred Sancho not playing football at all. You know what I mean? And then his price like decreasing. You know what I mean? But now he's playing. Imagine he scores like about 10 assists and you know what I mean, 5 goals in like how many games? You never know, Aaron, man. These players are gonna be.
And then you look at the death rates. Even does he even want to come back to the UK right now?
That's a good question.
Yo, look at how Germany's handling stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It's a sad time, but I'm just gonna put a last question out to you guys. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you to find me a sum of what Man United are gonna spend this summer. Aaron, you give me your sum of Man United. How much are gonna spend this summer?
Less than 100.
Less than 100. Wow.
We'll spend less than 100.
Northern. 0. No faith in Woodward and Ashton. My boys. No faith in them, no.
2 big fat zeros, my friend. No,
wow.
I'm not like I said, if any chairman of any owners ever needed an excuse of the transfer, like I said, I won't mind because we're already 350 million in debt. Why won't we just be 600 million in debt? Like, go and get 300 from the bank, mate. He's a banker. Your boy's a banker. You know what I mean? Have a word, Said. Have a word, man. Tell him that.
You know what? That's very, very funny, because Woodward is a banker, and he would know how to remove debts and how to successfully remove debts and how to make sure that we're not in a financial, we're not in debt. Now that's crazy. How I just looked at it and I'm thinking, if he's a banker, surely he would have gave some kind of advice to the owners and the Glazers of how to reduce that debt. But Aaron, in terms of that 100 million, said who would that be? I'm guessing it's not a Jadon Sancho, is it?
Sorry?
That 100 million, less than 100 million, you said. Who would you buy with that then?
I don't think it will be Sancho. We'll manage to get Sancho in a different kind of deal. But the less than 100 mil, it's probably going to be spent on a CDM, I think. Probably going to be spent on the CDM. Maybe another forward.
Yeah.
I mean, the original reports in the past couple of weeks have been, this is Ornstein, who used to work for the BBC, now with the Athletic. He said Man United are looking for, it's a secret strike.
Yeah, and a centre-back, apparently.
Well,
centre-back, which is crazy.
Man City are looking for centre-backs, isn't it? Seriously.
And then again, it comes to the equation of Man United are going to have to spend more than Man City, because Man City, once Man City go to a price, they never ever go above that. They never ever go above that.
And that's why clubs don't try it. Clubs know, oh, damn, they're buying from a position of strength. When you buy from a position of strength, then Man City come in and hype up the prices because they know Woodward is going to go and jump and go, Man City are going to try. That's the thing about Sancho with the wages. That's the thing with Maguire. Man City are like, let's just hype up. It's like, that's it. Like, it's like an auction, you know what I mean? It's like the auction, isn't it? You know, that guy sitting at the auction who's friends with a guy who's selling the stuff. He sits there, it's like, 65 million. What? 65, 70, 80 million. 79 million. Yeah. Edward was like, buy before Man City, buy.
It's like a little kid in a candy store, Edward Woodman. But that's the podcast 65, I believe. Will Man United spend, or can Man United afford to spend any more? And it's for me, it's looking a bit bleak at the minute. I look at all these transfer rumours and Sancho and all these players. You know what? I don't see anything happening, because at the end of the day, it has to happen in terms of, can Man United afford to get in? Can we be in the Champions League? Can our football season? When the football season starts, then I'll talk about transfers. But for now, I feel like it's kind of almost like a dumb way of talking about it, because at the end of the day, what's the point of talking about transfers? When really football isn't reality at the minute. We are in a serious situation right now, and for me, this pandemic and whatnot and is nothing compared to what's happening right now. So, yeah, man, it's been brilliant, guys. What's your plans now for the rest of the week and whatnot? What are you telling me? Reactive.
Just doing the same old thing, when just waking up, staying home.
TikTok King, mate. You're talking about the TikTok King, mate. He's got ideas, mate. I told you. You need to reach out to Papoose and do a video with Papoose, Rude Boy. That's what you need to do, mate.
Shout
out
socials, Aaron.
Oh yeah, Mr. Aaron Utd across all the socials. Man, make sure you follow me on my subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I'm gonna restart doing the pro clubs thing, man. I'm gonna start doing the pro clubs thing again. So anyone that wants to join, hit up the FFNFC Freestyle Football Nation FC and join the club, and then let's play together. Saeed, you can join as well.
Definitely. I'm on that.
Aaron and Saeed out.
We'll get it started again.
Lord, in your socials, mate.
That guy, Red Devil, mate. I'm looking at a bit of a bleak week apparently in terms of weather-wise. I've been on a hype. I've been on beautiful. The weather's been really nice, but apparently it's gonna next week the weather's gonna be. So I need the therapy, mate. I need some therapy, mate. Trust me.
It's one of them times, man. Stay indoors, guys. And obviously, I just want to wish everyone a Ramadan Mubarak. You know what I mean? Everyone, it's a blessed month. So make sure you guys are, you know what I mean? It's family time. And yeah, man, let's just hope that we get through this, man. And by the end of it, we'll be laughing in the sunshine. You know what I mean? Down Matt Busby way, and we can just watch football, watch Bruno, watch Pogba. You know what I mean? Flourish at Old Trafford lights, and maybe we can see some Sancho, or maybe the club can give us some favours and really spend on this club. Because at the end of the day, we spend all this money on season tickets, all this money on the away days and whatnot. And for what, man? For what, really? What is the end goal of fan? Are we just our club? Is this now commercial club, like I call it? I remember the day when we had still Lukaku and Thingy on a tyre. And I was thinking, is that what our club is now? You know what I mean? It's a sponsor club. But Guys, this is Video Podcast 65, Straightjacket Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, guys, smash a like on the video. It's right there. It only takes 1 second. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to our channel. Road to 15K, guys. Let's do it, man. Come on, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Come on, man. Yeah, make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you stay indoors. We're going to get through this, guys. We are going to get through this. Big up to Aaron and Nuruddin. Follow them on their socials. Subscribe to their channels. And we'll be back same time next week for another Straightjacket Podcast. Take care, guys. Peace.